India or Bharat is the cradle of civilizations, philosophies and culture. What we know of meditation, mindfulness, yoga, spiritual awakening and enlightenment all comes from this land. And of all these, enlightenment is the least understood or the most confusing term. Personally, I've come a long way through spirituality and I have explored different cultures and philosophies. I've been attracted to shamanism, Buddhism. I've been an atheist before. And then until I settled on yoga, because of how practical and straightforward it is while you are on the path of a spiritual journey. And it is from that perspective I am talking about Buddhism. How would a Hindu or somebody who subscribed to the Hindu or the yogic philosophy would look at Buddhism, which is an agnostic tradition, and why it didn't take root in the Indian subcontinent while spreading all across South Asia. So let's get into the video. I have already made videos on Hinduism and Buddhism and the basic tenets of Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta, what is what of everything basically. So if you want, please do check them out. Now, the people in this land believe in a higher power we call Brahman or Purusha, which is basically a super consciousness that permeates the entire universe and connects everything in the universe. All the avatars of the gods are based on this concept of Brahman or Purusha. They are just the manifestation of this one supreme reality. Thousands and thousands of stories regarding Purusha or Brahman in different manifestations, be it Sri Rama, Sri Krishna, Vamana, they all come with the knowledge of this same concept of Brahman, that is, there is one reality and everything else is Maya. The rich cultural and literary traditions of this land, which starts with the Vedas, the Upanishads, the Itihasas, the Puranas, are all based on Brahman or Purusha and have to move closer to understanding this one. When I say that Brahman is super consciousness, I basically mean that there is one consciousness that is everywhere, that operates in just one single fabric. We are all connected by this one fabric of consciousness. Even the tiniest little creature has an intelligence of its own, and they operate under one rationality or law that has to apply to all equally. The entire human existence is also connected to mukti or moksha, which is enlightenment, which we attain when we realize what the super consciousness or Brahman is. Enlightenment is all about realizing and experiencing Brahman. And for the same reason, all the tantric practices, the spiritual practices that go on in the temples are all in line with this concept. And we also have a long history and tradition of respecting and admiring, basically revering these enlightened beings or Brahmanas. A tradition that went horribly wrong through the centuries. In this backdrop comes along a prince on the path of renunciation, denying all this all at once. And his investigation into the truth makes him realize that there is no Brahman, there is no permanent consciousness to the universe. Everything will dissolve away, and there is no God, there is no self even to begin with. He taught the people that it's these ideas about permanence and an ultimate self or an ideal self that actually causes suffering or dissatisfaction with everything in their life. And therefore, we need to shed all of that. Usually, when somebody comes with an idea that is contrasting to the existing system, there would be a lot of friction, and that has happened in the ideological and philosophical levels and sometimes also in the real world. And now, after a millennium, where we saw Islamic invasions, the advent of Advaita Vedanta, colonialism, the life of Vivekananda and his teachings, independence, so on, here we are again. And to this day, there are these spiritual seekers, or just the seekers around us, who needs to find some answers. And we all go through that phase of existential crisis and suffering that comes out of it, because we don't know who we are, or why we are here, or why even the life exists in the universe. And most of us suffer from that lack of clarity. And many others are trapped in the fundamentalism or ritualism that is once again an escape from this truth. Personally, for the longest time, I believed that there is no God, nothing that would come and save you or protect you from your sufferings. You're just born, and then your life is all about going through the daily hassles and having to suffer all that you have to, and then one day you just die. Poof, everything is gone. Buddhism does make a lot of sense in that perspective, because it basically says that in life we have to suffer because of attachments or desires that we have. But even the Buddha talks about awakening or enlightenment as a way to escape this suffering. As you may already know, Buddha identifies the Four Noble Truths after his long path to liberation. And by detaching from the three poisons, which are raga or attachment, dvesha, that is hatred or aversion, and moha, which is delusion or ignorance, or delusion that comes from our ignorance. By destroying these three poisons in our minds, and by cultivating the Brahma Viharas or the four virtues, we attain enlightenment or awakening, or we reach a point called Nirvana. But in Hinduism or in yoga, there are the 6 enemies of the mind, or the Shatrupus, and the 5 kleshas. These things trap you in this world, also called samsara. If you are trapped in that, you cannot raise your awareness to match or to realize the super consciousness or the actual truth of this universe. And that is the central question. For Buddhism, there is no such devil. There is no ultimate truth. There is no higher consciousness, super consciousness, nothing like that. When you detach from all your desires or cravings, and you realize that everything is impermanent, everything will eventually dissolve away, and that the entire universe is in a constant state of flux. When you realize that nothing really matters in that way, you attain a sense of inner peace, which is called Nirvana. And from that point, there is no suffering for you in your life, because you understand that all of these cravings or desires or things that you may want or you may want to attach to are all meaningless at the end of the day. But for Hinduism, when you detach from your desires, your negative thoughts and ignorance, and you focus your body, mind, intellect on one point, concentrate and meditate on that singular point. It doesn't matter if that point is your breath, your heart, your third eye, or anything that's even outside you. Just focus on the one, and then you become that, and you dissolve into that, which also makes you a little supernatural. And when the Buddha denies that one point and says that there is actually nothing to attain, as a Hindu, that feels like ignorance or avidya, because one should be allowed to find that out for oneself. Nobody should be denying it for you. Just like how atheists would deny anything supernatural, if you will. In my experience, we all have a very rich and vibrant inner world, and we are all connected in one way or the other with the universe and with the world and the people in the world. The idea of Turiya is very relevant to me, where you can access a lot of knowledge about oneself, about awakening and the universe. And even the new research into consciousness suggests that the universe could be conscious and that our consciousness could be connected to the entire universe. Now, would this amount to anything? Probably not. At the end of the day, this is just a part of life like everything else is. But we shouldn't be denying it. Rather, we should explore it, understand more about it. This higher self or higher consciousness or ideal self, how to operate from it and use it for the betterment of our planet. Because through the millennia, we have seen that any civilization that believes in detachment and wisdom has focused on preserving the nature, other people around them, and being good. So as a Hindu, the fundamental problem I have with Buddhism is how it denies something that has to be or that should be explored, or something that could be true. That's it for this video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please hit the like button. My battery is about to die, so I have to stop here. Don't forget to like and comment what you think about this video. Until we meet next time, bye bye, have a great time. Don't forget to subscribe. Well, it goes without saying that I don't have a sponsor yet. But not to worry, I will sponsor my own video. More precisely, my book will. This is the first book that I wrote. It's a realistic fiction novel about 4 teens in a city, enmeshed in a life of drugs, love, violence and chaos. A tale of isolation and desperation one feels among known strangers in an unknown city. Well, this book is available on Amazon and Flipkart. The links will be in the description. I will also share the link to the video trailer of the book, so check them out.